Intermittent fasting is one of the most powerful tools you can use when it comes to losing weight, improving overall health, and longevity. Its efficacy when it comes to specifically targeting body fat and burning it for energy is unparalleled. It's the main tool I personally use to transform my body, and I've been able to maintain my results ever since. So in this video, I'm going to show you what happens to your body when you stop eating. The human body is an amazing thing. We rose to the top of the food chain for a reason. And through 2.5 million years of evolution, we developed the innate capability to carry stored energy around with us in order to survive the harshest conditions known to man. We specifically store energy for later use around our center mass. Think of it like an energy fanny pack attached to our bodies. That's what body fat is there for. It's not just there for looks. So when food was scarce, we just tap into that stored energy until we can find food again. With that in mind, the human body can only be in one of two states. You can either be in the fed state or the fasted state. You can't do both at the same time. When you're eating, you're in the fed state. Insulin, a nutrient sensor, goes up. A lot of experts consider it to be the master hormone because it's the hormone that controls your body weight. Think of it as a switch to fat storing or fat burning. When insulin goes up, it sends a signal to your body to store all the calories you're eating. You're in fat storing mode. The initial calories you consume get stored as glycogen. The problem is, the body can only store around 2,000 calories of stored glycogen in the muscles and liver. After that, it stores it as body fat. And there is no limit to how much fat our bodies can store. Think about morbidly obese people. Using dinner as an example, there's usually more calories in that meal that you can use at that point. So you store the rest of those calories for later use. Every time you don't eat, like when you go to sleep at night, the body switches to the fasted state. When you're in the fasted state, insulin naturally goes down because there's no more food coming in. Remember, it's a nutrient sensor. And when insulin goes back down to baseline, that's the signal for your body to start tapping into stored energy. This is why you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to eat. In the fed state, insulin goes up. You're in fat storing mode. In the fasted state, you're not eating. Insulin goes down and the body taps into stored energy. It takes about 4 hours to switch into that fasted state. A simple hack you can use is if you go for a 15-minute walk after your meal, you can cut that time by half. That's why one of the best things you can do is to go for a walk after dinner or after every meal for that matter. But you're either in the fed state or the fasted state. You can't do both at the same time. Think about it. When you're eating, that's what your body is immediately going to use for energy. Why would it burn body fat when there's food coming in? It's just going to save it for a rainy day. An easy way to think of this then is high insulin blocks fat burning. Logic would then suggest that if you want to burn body fat for energy, you have to keep insulin low by going through short periods of time where you're not eating. This is why grazing on food, like eating small meals every 2 to 3 hours and snacking all day, is one of the worst things you can do. Because you're never satiated from those small meals, and we usually don't snack on the healthiest stuff. To give you some context, the average eating window for the majority of people is 15 hours, basically their entire waking hours, which means they're in fat storing mode all day. And we've made amazing technological advances as a society, but one of the downsides to that is we also live in a time where we can have access to literally any kind of food 24/7. There's food delivery apps, we can get groceries delivered, we don't really need to leave the house anymore. And that's exactly what we've done. The average North American, for example, gets a measly 4,700 steps a day. Literally the definition of a sedentary lifestyle. The other problem is we also now use food as a form of entertainment. People love to eat when they're bored. But if you're just eating constantly and you're one of these snacking or 6 small meals a day advocates, you never really give your body the chance to switch over into that fasted state and start using up some of those calories. Your insulin levels always stay high, which means you're always in fat storing mode. And remember, there is no limit to how much fat your body can store. And if you follow that pattern long enough and you follow the standard American diet of ultra-processed foods combined with a sedentary lifestyle, you eventually develop something called insulin resistance or hyperinsulinemia. And 88% of American adults have some form of metabolic dysfunction, which then raises your risk of getting a stroke, heart attack, cancer, and Alzheimer's tenfold. So now that you understand this delicate fed and fasted state mechanism, the solution becomes very obvious. It's actually quite simple. You have to intentionally create short periods of time where you're not eating. That's all intermittent fasting is. And the easiest way to get started is by taking advantage of the 8-hour fast you've already got going from your overnight sleep. You've already got an 8-hour head start. So if you skip breakfast and let's say you eat lunch at noon, then you finish eating dinner by 8 p.m., you've just manufactured a 16-hour fast and an 8-hour eating window. You've just given your body 16 precious hours to burn some of your stored energy, also known as body fat. A 16-hour fast is also the minimum effective dose of intermittent fasting, where you start to get access to all of its amazing benefits like improved blood glucose control and insulin sensitivity. It increases your energy. It boosts your brain. It builds the immune system. It turns on autophagy, which is a cleanse on a cellular level. It heals the gut. You get a boost in growth hormone, which has anti-aging effects, and so much more. If the benefits of intermittent fasting could be put in a pill, it would be one of the greatest blockbuster medications of all time, right next to exercise. And you can give yourself a daily dose for free. And if you want to work with me and learn how to put this all together, you can book a free consultation to join the Fat Loss Accelerator VIP program by clicking the link in the description and comments below. You can also skip dinner or eat an early dinner, which is actually better because it aligns more naturally with your circadian clock, because human beings evolved to do everything with the rising and setting of the sun. And if you want to maximize your results, revolve your diet around single ingredient, minimally processed, and nutrient-dense foods. Find healthy foods you enjoy eating and limit treats and alcohol to just once a week. That basically takes care of the diet part of the equation, because 80% of your body composition is determined by what you eat and what you don't eat. And if you combine that eating strategy with supportive lifestyle choices like getting 8,000 steps spread throughout the day, a couple of high-intensity strength workouts, and you'll magically have time to do those things if you practice intermittent fasting. And if you also prioritize getting adequate and quality sleep, which is 7 hours minimum, and you spend quality time with friends and family, it's gonna change your life. And we've all accidentally done intermittent fasting where we're preoccupied with something and we're just busy. Nothing bad happened, right? Remember, our Paleolithic ancestors would sometimes go a full day or multiple days without eating. They were forced to fast and burn body fat for energy. And to put your mind at ease, the longest recorded fast was 382 days done by a guy named Angus Barbieri. He lost a mind-bending 276 pounds, going from 456 pounds to 180 pounds. And he was able to keep the weight off afterwards. So you're gonna be fine if you skip a meal every once in a while. And this isn't anything new. Millions of people from different religions practice some type of fasting, whether it's Lent, Ramadan, or Yom Kippur. It's the oldest and most powerful diet intervention in the books. And it's free. You can literally start today and start getting benefits. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then you don't want to ignore this one. I'll see you there.